You are listening to It's an Honor to Be Nominated, a film news podcast bringing you the latest and greatest in entertainment. If there is a film you would like to hear us discuss, send us an email at itsanhonourtobenominated@gmail.com with the film title in the subject line. That's It's an Honor to Be Nominated, honor with a U. Don't be alarmed, dear listener. You're listening to a Halloween spooky edition of It's an Honor to Be Nominated. Reese, who was that?
I don't know. He was terrifying. I don't know how my door is locked, so I'm not sure how he even got in.
I didn't hear it open or close.
The sound I made, I didn't know whether it was going to be a witch or a monkey, but at the time I went with witch monkey, so I went.
I think that kept us safe. I think that kept us safe. That person, whoever they were, was right. This is a Halloween spooky edition of It's an Honor to Be Nominated. I'm Matthew E. Matthews. Joining me today is
Liz Talbot.
And joining me today is
Reese McCain.
And we are here to talk about the latest horror films. Reese and I, we've been at the Brisbane International Film Festival. YouTube listeners can see a photo of us now.
With special guest correspondent Martin.
Yeah. Would you like to say anything today, Martin?
Still keeping a tight lip.
Yeah, wow.
If anybody
soon,
wants
Martin.
to see a picture of a dog on a skateboard, you're seeing
You're
it.
seeing that now as well?
Yeah. All right. Well,
and you're seeing the dog coming back the other direction now.
All right. As long as one of you can provide me with a royalty-free photo, then that will happen. And if it didn't, it's because the ghost got me.
Or it's because all dogs have very good agents and don't give out their photos royalty-free.
Yeah. They, if you do not properly accredit them, they have a real bone to pick with you. And that's a skeleton joke because it's Halloween today.
Oh, it's not a dog joke because they like bones?
Do they?
Yeah. Those dogs play it pretty rough.
All right. So
let's pause before we go too far.
This is genuinely horrifying to me. These puns.
Yeah. Well, enough about puns because we're not here for comedy.
No, we're here to do serious movie journalism.
Yeah.
On the topic of scary movies, and not the scary franchise specifically, but it might come up. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Which we will talk about in terms of representing the genre and not how well they did jokes, because that is not what we're here.
We don't know what is good comedy.
No, nobody does.
No.
Well, except for Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan does do excellent comedy.
Yeah. Or basically any two cops coming together, that's excellent comedy. Everything else, who knows?
Who knows? Jackie Chan films where he meets another cop and they have to deal with a difference in culture that is objectively comedy, and anything outside of that is subjective, which is what makes it so hard for us to talk about
Exactly,
here.
Yeah.
So the Brisbane International Film Festival, that had a horror pick. Did you see it too? It was The Man with the Bucket on the Hill.
The Man with the Bucket on the Hill.
The Man with the Bucket on the Hill.
I saw The Man with the Bucket on the Hill there.
Did you get
This is the name of a film. We're not referring to a man who went up a hill with a bucket.
Well, that's sort of the central question of the movie. Did a man go up a hill with a bucket?
Yeah.
Or is it just a movie?
Who owns the bucket, the man or the hill?
Well, so I found myself personally quite challenged by that idea. So it started off black. If I may,
that is sort of the central question of the film.
Yeah.
Who owns the bucket?
Who owns the bucket? So it starts off completely black. You hear a bucket being picked up, and then we see this man walking towards the hill. Yeah. And we don't really see the bucket in any shots for about 20 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, because that's sort of the central question of the film. Is like, is there a bucket?
Yeah. Is that like the cosmic forces of the hill picking up that bucket, or was it just a man who walked there?
That's fascinating. I'd read the reviews, and let me tell you, the reviews about Man on the Bucket on the Hill, nasty.
Yeah, it's not that they think the movie was bad, but they just have some really mean things to say about everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never read a review that spoke so derisively about a man's tie.
That tie was legendarily horrific.
Okay.
And, like, it's not unfair of them to point it out, but they did say it quite rudely.
Did you hear that Comedy Central is doing a roast of that man's tie?
Yeah.
Coming up this weekend. Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Who have they got lining up for that one?
They've got
No one problematic, I hope.
No, Glazer.
And
That's her last name. I can't remember her first
Nikki.
name. Yeah, Nikki.
Yes,
Nikki Glazer.
there's that same one guy that they roll out for every
That's
roast.
right. He's
Yes.
They've got Dave Franco for
Dave
some
Franco.
reason.
Yes.
I think
Yes,
he
yes, yes.
worked with the tie previously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
in a
think-
different, in maybe Manchester
stand?
by the Sea.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and then some of
I
the
saw
old.
him in the tie and hat stand.
I think some of the old cast of Round the Twist
Yes.
have come in, but that's sort of like a throwback. And as always, Shaq.
Shaq was there.
Shaq was there.
Shaq will have been there.
Time doesn't exist in any one point. It's more circular, so it's both in the future and behind us.
Yes.
Very Matthew McConaughey of you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Luz.
Have you seen a movie recently, Liz?
I have. We were discussing sort of, I guess, a tangential topic earlier. The film, there's an era where it was horror films about people being deprived of certain senses.
Yes. Yeah, so we've had, like, can't see, can't make noise, can't
Yes.
move.
Yeah.
We've done those.
I found Can't See visually unimpressive.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the movie Can't See. I was literally, I'd say, about 90 minutes of black.
Yeah. And I mean, totally ripped off the idea from Bird Box. But
Yes. But, so this film, I saw it was a spin-off of Bird Box. It was called Beatbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The horror, the monster in this film.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, this is unique, creative.
Very unique. It can only be summoned, or you are only vulnerable when you are beatboxing. And so it's a very interesting world because not many people do that. The majority of people in the world of this film are safe,
Yeah.
given how little the average person will beatbox.
And it doesn't follow a beatboxer. It's
No.
following people who live in the world where
Yeah.
all the beatboxers are being hunted by this mythical being.
Yeah.
This sort of horror slasher type figure.
Yeah.
But you only really hear about it tangentially.
Yeah.
I think it does get a bit more prominent when you're like in a school setting and you've got like the music teacher about to demonstrate a rhythm that they want the band to follow.
And you're worried.
And you're worried because the monster, is like waiting outside with some binoculars.
Yeah, real creepy.
Yeah.
Because
and it's really awkward.
it's really awkward. He's like, is he going to do it? And the music teachers, like, they catch themselves every time. They're safe.
Yeah.
And this is like a terrifying movie monster on the level of Jason and Freddy and all these people, but he does have to use traditional reconnaissance techniques such as binoculars.
Yeah.
And he sort of listens at doors with a glass cup.
It's very
to
much
see if any beatboxing happening behind there.
It's very much a commentary on the unending horrors of the Vietnam War, I found.
Absolutely. And I thought Mila Kunis had an incredible cameo. It's a great sort of movie as a cameo vehicle because they can just have a beatboxer in the background of a shot die.
Yeah.
And that's what Mila Kunis did, but she really stood out, I thought.
Yeah.
I think, and is it alright if I spoil it?
Just give us our traditional spoiler notice.
The spoiler notes. All right, I'll get that ready for you. Hang on a sec. Let me just cue up that sound effect. Spoiler alert!
Uh-oh. I don't want to listen to this.
No how.
Thanks for playing that.
Yeah.
You realize that there is no monster that exists in this universe. It just so happens that the people who beatbox just do something to get themselves killed all the time. Or the world generally.
Just finds them sort of annoying.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very tense until you find out that the monster is just a talent scout working at, like, spying on children, which is in its own way scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But less tense.
Yes.
And the beatboxing community is staunchly against this film. I mean, they are not happy with.
It's scaring people. It's changing the meaning of, I mean, I don't know if we can just play a little bit from the film, but where there's this eerie silence and then sort of the only the faintest beat. So that was just a bit from the film, though.
So scary. That was. I mean, the audio design. There has to be something said about that. That was sort of
triumph.
Transported you.
Triumph. Humlas
Triumph.
Unclaut. Famous German sound designer.
That's right.
Shout outs to him.
Who is previously famous for doing all of the walking Foley, like the footstep Foley, for the Animal Crossing games.
Yeah.
He did the crossings?
He did crossings, yeah.
He's the crossings from Animal Crossings.
Everyone's been talking like, who is this famous recluse who did these crossing sound effects?
Whoa.
It was him.
So every time an animal crosses, you're hearing his work?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, it took a bit of discovery. Like, people were playing crossing sounds on TikTok for ages, going, and I shrugged just then.
Okay.
Yeah. I shrugged just then for those listening. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
We'd just like to take a brief minute out of the podcast just to really thank you. Thank you so much for listening. For taking the time out of your day.
This really helps to talk about this, actually.
We really appreciate it.
Let's also take a moment.
We've got a few other people to thank.
To discuss Squarespace.
Thank you, Squarespace. We don't have any interaction with you at all, no affiliation, but thank you from the bottom of our heart.
We're just, in general, enthusiastic for the increase in websites.
If there's one thing I love, it's a what you see is what you get editor.
Yeah.
Whether that is web or text, I just love a what you see is what you get editor.
No surprises, thanks.
It's really friendly and you can get started really quick and easy. And if you go onto any website and input the code and the winner is 42069.
It's an honor to be nominated.
It's an honor to be nominated. All caps, the words all caps, then you can get 10% off any website.
Yeah, if you want to buy a website, Wikipedia, Google, Square.
Uh-oh. The beatboxing demon is going to come for us.
Hang on a sec. Get it out of the room. Yeah. Squarespace will give you 10% off of any of those websites.
You choose which 10% of a website goes.
Yeah. It's just gone. You do just have to type in all of that code.
But I think we should get onto some of our scary movie picks for this.
Yes.
We're going through our personal favorite scary movies. Is that right?
Yes, we're bringing in our... Look... If you want to go for all time, we were going to stick to the ones from this year.
Okay, recent? Okay.
If you really wanted to go all time greatest, I'm not going to stop you here and now. We should have discussed it.
I don't want to give spoilers. Should we play the sound?
Oh, yeah, play the sound, guys.
The sound. Let me just get the button for the sound that we play when there's going to be spoilers. Hey, you can't park that here!
Oh, no, I got a parking ticket.
Sorry, that was the parking ticket button.
That's right. Well, anyway, I think the message was pretty clear, but no spoilers, but I do... for me, I think maybe my favorite scary movie of all time...
That car's got a spoiler on it!
Did you accidentally press a button,
sorry.
Matt?
It was just a one long sound file.
Oh, that was just a long bit of silence in that sound file. No, that's all right.
That's so embarrassing for you, Reese.
That's embarrassing for me. Yeah, I came in way too early on that. Yeah. I should have let it rest.
Yeah, I didn't come in earlier. The clip with my voice was part of the clip. It's only Reese who embarrassed himself just then by coming in too early.
I'm so sorry, everyone. But if we can move on, yes. I just wanted to say that I think, no spoilers, but I think maybe my favorite movie of all time, scary-wise, was from this year. Yeah,
it was a good year.
That might give listeners an idea of what I chose.
It was a good year. So this is my scariest film. This is my pick for scariest film of the year. The Lighthouse 2! Exclamation mark.
So you want to be a wiki, do ya?
A wiki?
Yeah, that's what we call the lighthouse keepers on this island here.
Hold on a minute.
Though we do offer also, if you prefer, you can be a wiki in the sense of a knowledge repository that is community managed.
Well, that's just what I was thinking. That's why I've got this notepad.
Well, it's up to you, but we do need someone to run the lighthouse, but I don't know if you've got it in ya.
Sir, I do have it in me, and I've been looking at this lighthouse, which kind of is what you should do with a lighthouse. It's there to be seen.
Exactly.
Since I was a young boy. And now that I'm a slightly less young boy.
Oh dear. The lighthouse loonies have taken you already.
I just feel a little bit silly.
The light will do that to you, child.
I'll turn it off.
We can't do that.
This is not at all what I expected from the lighthouse.
So that is, deeply unsettling for me. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys.
Because it's a lighthearted comedy romp.
It is a lighthearted comedy romp
for most people.
For most people,
you, it's particularly chilling.
So I spent most of my youth in a lighthouse after my mother had passed away.
Wow.
We bought this lighthouse. We started living on this island. Oh, sorry, it was on this cliff face. A lot of strange things were happening in that lighthouse. It just really.
How often did you feel like that? Had you ever?
Just constantly. It just reminds me of capitalism in general. We had this really, really, really rough mayor. I think that was his role in town. He wanted to kick us out of the lighthouse.
It sounds like you're talking about a mayor / real estate agent.
Yeah, I really felt that was a conflict of interest.
Yeah, that's the scariest part of the film.
Yes, so that is
irresponsibility.
For me, the scariest part is this this reminder of the ever-present conflict between the undisclosed interests.
What a sort of roundabout, twisted way of viewing this movie.
Yeah. That's why I found that's my pick for this year. And anyone else who's had similar experiences probably agree with me that it is this year's scariest film.
Wow.
Thank you for letting me.
Thank you for sharing.
Look,
it's so important it's a podcast, right? So you have to get real and emotional, and you have to trauma dump.
Look, that's what podcasts are for. Dump your trauma straight on top of the audience and the people around you. Don't give them notice. Don't consider their safety. Don't separate yourself from the piece at all.
Absolutely.
Just put your trauma out there, roll around in it, and expect other people to clean up their own mess.
And I'm glad you did, because I was how many episodes have we done so far? I mean, a bunch. Well, this is the second one coming out.
No, this will be the special edition after the day after the second one.
We've done so many podcasts together now, and then you haven't trauma dumped so far. So I was, as a podcast myself, I was going to pressure you into trauma dumping, which is, I think, also a responsibility we all have on a podcast, is to pressure people.
Whilst eating hot wings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trauma Dump Hot Wings is the hottest podcast. There's so many tears.
And this one that we're having now is the Carolina Reaper fudge hot wing.
I've just been eating cookies, but reacting to them because I don't have a very high tolerance for spice.
Yeah.
So I'm being affected as though I'm eating Carolina. Just, as you can see, I'm crying, sweaty.
That's crazy. I've just been eating cookies too. Have you been eating hot wings, or have you been eating cookies?
I've been eating tiramisu.
Okay, we're all really sweaty.
Yeah, I don't like it. I thought that was the idea. We were meant to be eating stuff.
That was my choice because I really like chili. So I thought it'd be better if I had some sort of sweet. And that way I can live this experience with you guys. Shall we get another film up?
Yeah, I'd love to share with you my favorite scary movie from this year. which, I mean, this one kept me up for many, many nights, and it's still I have nightmares about some of the scenes in this film. It's 3 men and another man.
I have enough firewood. You have enough carcasses. The 3 of us here can perhaps make it through the winter.
God, I only hope that we can last long enough to fill out the Sudoku. It's a real brain teaser.
I'm not changing my mind. We only have a pen, and you're not doing it in pen.
Well, we have very little else going on
You
at
don't
the moment. We've
do
got plenty of food and
a
plenty of
Sudoku
wood. We've
in
got plenty of
pen.
shelter. But entertainment-wise, we could either talk about our feelings and the mistakes that led us to this situation, or we could do a Sudoku in pen. And I'm voting for Sudoku in pen.
Where do you get this pride, this ego that would give you the audacity to do a Sudoku in pen?
Hang on a second. You're trying to trick me into talking about feelings again. I'm not going to do it. All right? My father tricked me into talking about my feelings. His father tricked him into talking about his feelings, right? And I
Man.
swore when they both died in that clown motorcycle incident that I wouldn't be tricked into talking about my personal origins or my motivations for doing things.
You had better not tell me exactly how that impacts your relationship with clowns right now, because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you.
Take the pen. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you could hear it then, even without the visuals, and the visuals are really off-putting. I mean, that man is just a psychopath. He wanted to do the Sudoku in pen. That chilled me to my core. That messed me up for weeks. I mean, it's amazing that films can still shock like that, because a lot of people think that, we can't be shocked anymore.
It was
We're exposed to so
originally
much.
denied classification.
Rightly so, I think. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm glad that I saw it, but I'm surprised that something like this is allowed to exist.
Like, I think it's important that we can talk about it so other people know in advance what to expect.
Yeah.
But showing it on screen?
Yeah, like, there wasn't any sort of, like, trigger warning at the
That
start.
one long shot.
That one long shot of him just, like... and
filling out the Sudoku.
Not even looking at all of the squares before he started. He's like, probably 7.
Yeah.
It was unhinged.
And the worst part is that he actually does he fills in a large portion of it correctly.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, just as he's about to put the last one in, there's one mistake that he made.
And he doesn't know how far back he needs to unravel.
Exactly. I feel a bit sick talking about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
What I also like about the movie is that both characters repeatedly refuse to give you any sort of character development throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Very staunch.
Yeah.
Very sturdy.
You don't know a lot about them or their story.
I mean, they bring up how much you don't know about them and how much they refuse to elaborate.
2 of them didn't even talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of them didn't even talk.
They were my favorite characters, actually.
Yeah.
I think, they were just...
the juggling routine.
That was good.
I think I would have turned the Sudoku off. I would have skipped ahead if it wasn't for the juggling and like the progression from amateur to quite a deep professional level and connection that they had each other without talking.
Yeah. And then the 4th guy who was killing all those campers, he was really funny. I liked him.
Yeah. Good bit of prop humor.
It was a good relief from the horror of the Sudoku in pen, I thought.
I think, and the levity that came from the fact that they were raising a baby was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I don't know if you've checked like the character notes. It doesn't come up in the film, but that baby is Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Yep.
Good for him. How'd they film that? Because that was this year.
Method acting.
Oh, wow. How long was he full 9 months up in some carried around by a woman? Was that how he did it?
He's been method acting for a while. When was the last... What was the last film he was in? Michael
Actually,
Jordan.
I did see. Well, was he in Space Jam? Was that the
Yeah,
last
I
one?
think that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been preparing for that role since then.
Mm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do remember that Catherine Zeta-Jones was carrying him around just after Space Jam
Yeah.
premiered, carrying him around in like a fake baby pregnancy belly
Yeah.
for 9 months, and then raising him with Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And I hear that, I mean, according to his reports, they were really good parents.
They were.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors or anything, but I would like to think that Catherine Zeta-Jones is... Honestly, I would trust her with my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can tap like there's no tomorrow. And that's what I look for.
That's any of the cast of Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
The Tap Dogs. If you
Tap
remember that
Dogs.
from 1990s Australia. Tap Dogs.
The Tap Dogs are my parents legally. They're my legal guardians. Yeah.
The Tap Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I had been asking about those photos.
They
on the
kept
wall.
their fame from me though. I didn't know other people knew about them.
Well, you're not a Tap Dog Nepo baby.
That is how I got into the industry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. To be fair.
You
They-
tapped a little.
They tried to protect him from it so that he could claim to be like making it through from his own intentions. So like if you've been to Reese's house, have you been to Reese's house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So lots of photos of dogs with their faces redacted, and that was so Reese wouldn't have to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the dog is occasionally on a skateboard, which you'll see now. And
Oh, should I put the?
Yeah.
And also my family does have they're big jet skiers as well. So you'll see that
yeah.
now.
Thank you for sharing your family photos with
No
us.
problems. And those ones you will have because those are family photos. The faces will be blurred out though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liz, tell us about
If
your-
I may contribute,
please.
this is going to be a slightly hot take, but hear me out.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Cutting edge journalism.
Yeah.
Hottest of takes. We've got the hot
We want to
wings
be
there.
like one of those Rolling Stones top 100 music articles that are just objectively incorrect, so that people get angry at them online.
Yeah,
Yes,
that gets traction and engagement.
I want
so
to suffer greatly from recency bias.
Thank you.
And that's what I plan on doing.
Actually, can we take a moment just to thank you, Liz?
Liz,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably the best podcast guest. No recency bias.
No recency
recency
bias.
bias.
Recency
Not at
bias.
all. I just think that's just true. I mean, if I'm thinking about it, yep, it's you.
I have somewhat of a Reese bias, but that's different as well.
We've all got a Reese bias.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to come right out and say it. It was a divisive film, but 2024, and we're talking the awards season 2024.
We always
just to
are.
clarify.
Mm.
Walking Alive Through the Desert of Death.
Jeez Louise, it's a bit sunny out today.
Oh, cool, blimey! I'm sweating profusely.
How far did you say it was to Billy's house?
It's 45 minutes walking.
45 minutes.
Maybe we
walking.
should have taken the bicycles after all.
Oh, like those city folks? I don't think so, mate.
Well,
I think
next we'll be putting on Lycra, am I right?
Oh. No, I'm chafing quite badly. Maybe Lycra would have been good.
Next we'll be having higher paid positions that require less manual labor.
Drinking lattes.
Uh-oh.
I tell you what, if I start drinking lattes, just take me out to the desert and leave me there to wander around. Because
You know what I definitely don't want? I definitely don't want disproportionate spending in our area of the world to the detriment, in our view, of more regional areas.
No.
Wouldn't want that.
No, I also wouldn't want our population, our local area of living to be overrepresented in the political decisions made for the entire state.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. If that happens, you could just stick me out to the desert, tell me I'm on a trip to Billy's place, and leave me to die.
Absolutely. You can string me up like a scarecrow, and you can make me scare those crows.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that's a good paying gig?
That is what I do for a living.
No, yeah.
We don't know. We both know Billy, but we don't know each other very well. We should let's bond.
Let's bond.
The way that the film explored male friendship was, I know, very confronting to a lot of people. The fact that it was portrayed in its raw beauty.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
You
haven't seen this one?
Personally objected.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't. It's again just one long shot of two men getting to know each other under no pretense. There's no rehearsal. There's no practice. There's no sports game. There's just enjoying friendship. It's very, very real.
Mm.
And terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think all of us here hold the patriarchy dear to our heart.
Yes.
And so being confronted with that sort of masculine vulnerability, that is a scary movie. I understand the pick. I respect it.
I did catch the last minute of the film. I imagine it was the jump scare of Billy being a king was quite confronting.
The king or our king? King Charles?
The king, yeah.
The king.
The king.
Yeah.
King Charles, yeah. It was... Yeah, were you shocked? Were you, terrified?
It made sense to me.
It made sense to you.
Yeah.
You saw it coming?
Yeah, I guess I guessed it. And, once they started talking about lattes,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, I can put one and one together.
Yeah. Did the jump scare affect you, Liz?
Oh, yeah. But I watched it a second time, and they just put so many things that indicate that these two are going to be friends and that one of them is the king.
It's a movie that really benefits from a rewatch, I would say. It's all layered in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I rewatch it without watching it the first time? Because I've objected to the first watch.
Yeah, no, it counts as a rejection counts as a watch.
Yeah.
You can log that.
Okay.
So
I'll get
Letterboxd has a new feature
Yeah.
where you can log a refused to watch.
Yes.
And then when you log another one, it's a rewatch.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get the same.
Mm.
I objected the first time. I'll get the same enjoyment out of the rewatch.
Mm.
My refused to watch list is just the Joker movies so far. Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm.
Don't like Lady Gaga?
No, it was the first Joker movie. I was already on board. I don't like Joaquin Phoenix.
So you were on board with refusing to
I was
watch.
on board with putting it on my refuse to watch list.
Okay.
Yeah, hate that Joaquin Phoenix guy. How much slander should we do on this podcast?
How much do I get in trouble for?
I've got no idea. I'm not a lawyer.
Nor am I.
Damn.
But
I'm a
you
critic.
can freely slander. Oh, D-Rad, Daniel Radcliffe.
I do hear that. He's quite open about it.
Yeah.
He allows all sorts of
very-
slander and libel. He's fine with.
He's very chill in that way. Good old
Defamation comes down hard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got to draw a line somewhere, and that is why I respect him. He lets you in like he's your personal friend who you've known for a long time. But if you get close to defamation, he gets litigical.
It's good to have boundaries.
It's good to have boundaries.
Mm.
Unless you're podcasting, in which case, just tear them down.
That's what podcasting is all about: breaking down boundaries
Yeah.
and bringing people together.
Speaking truth to power.
Speaking truth
Absolutely.
to power.
Or just speaking.
Just speaking, that counts too. Yeah.
All right.
Plug time. Uh-oh, Liz is pulling the plug. What's going down the drain? Wow.
Sorry, you accidentally pressed a button there.
Yeah.
Or did you?
Might as
pressed
well
the
roll with
Might
it.
as well go into the plugs then. Yeah.
I certainly pressed the spoiler alert button.
I need to label these buttons. I'm so sorry, gang.
Did I come in too early just then? Was that was all part of the? Because I was speaking during that.
Did you speak during that?
I was speaking during that.
God,
I said.
I hope I can
responded.
cut that out.
Sorry. Yeah. Hopefully you can find an edit point there.
Plug time. All right. Wait,
It's still going.
It's still plug time. Guys,
Reese, you gotta get it together, man. Come on.
Is there something I can watch that tells me when the
Guys,
sound effect
There's
is
a
done?
transcript running on the screen here.
Oh, I see it.
Just
Yeah.
Right?
read
It's
from the
about to
script.
run out when I finish this sentence, and that's when you can start
Guys.
talking again, Reese.
so that audio can be aligned and synced up. We need to do a clap. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do a booty clap. All right, I just clapped with my booty, and let's restart the podcast.
From the start?
Now I've got a booty clap again.
Sorry.
All right, Reese, now you can talk.
That was a long sound effect. I'm glad that I didn't talk at all through that.
This plug is for our Sydney friends. If you are in Sydney and you want to enjoy comedy at the ITS Comedy Fest, guess who's making a special appearance? It's Eric Banner Montana, aka Nonsense and Sensibility, aka Reese, Caitlin, and Liz will be doing a show which features improvised Jane Austen Regency era romps, and that will be on the 14th of November. Go to itscomedyfestival.com.au. Plugged. Plug.
Nice. And that is me. That is me, Reese. I'm in that. And also, same comedy festival, book club on the 12th of November. If you'd like to see a non-improvised sketch experience. That's what we're calling it. It's a sketch experience.
Yeah. Do you come away with it going,
Yeah. Lots of people, lots of thoughts. People say, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to, there's a lot of ideas in it.
Yeah.
That's most of the feedback we get. That's not true. If I'm trying to advertise this, people like the show. They think it's funny.
They laugh at the jokes?
They do.
That's excellent.
It is a high quality show, not to be missed.
In the opposite time direction, November 28th is the start of the finals for Cage Match. I think it's going for 3 weeks.
This is in Brisbane.
Yes, opposite time direction and back in Brisbane, not in Sydney.
But an hour ahead or behind.
You could just play the podcast at the right time, and then that'll be fine. 28th, Thursday the 28th, Thursday the 5th, and Thursday the 12th. That's when it is, I think. I might be wrong.
And what this is there's two heats, which are teams who have won a lot throughout the year. They compete against each other, and then they get voted on by the audience. And then there's a final where the best three teams all fight against each other. Or
Is it the best three?
I think so. Is it the best two?
I think this year it's the best two.
Well, exciting. Even more high stakes.
I haven't got that confirmed yet. Oh, actually. No, I haven't got that confirmed yet. Yeah, so many of our friends will be there in most of those nights.
That's right.
And if you've been listening to the podcast, so many of your friends, I like to think.
So true.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Because that's what podcasting is all about. It's breaking down barriers, making friends.
Giving them all of your trauma so that you don't have to have it anymore.
Right. Pressuring people into dumping their trauma. It's, in many ways, the sort of things a cult leader would do.
Yeah. But it's not a cult.
Not at all. By the way, great mini-series on YouTube that you should go watch.
I've heard some of my favorite people are in that.
At least two of them.
Yeah. At least two of my favorite people are in that. And they are excellent in that. Brendan Fraser and Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, okay, is this a character by the name of Brendan Fraser who is not Brendan Fraser, but is a Fraser version of Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
When you know Brendan Fraser, as long as I've known Brendan Fraser, you'll find that he has a deep bond with Kelsey Grammer and doesn't want the two of them separated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to the public, he's known as
about that.
To the public, he is known as Brendan Fraser. But if you're a close personal friend, he wants to be called Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. His house is just filled with Kelsey Grammer, mostly from X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
No, not Origins. X-Men 3. X-Men 3.
All right, but not the other guy from Fraser. Like it's banned from Brendan Fraser's house.
Don't bring him up. I got warned by Brendan Fraser's butler. Don't bring up Niles. Don't remember who his character's name is.
Yeah,
Don't
even
bring him
if
up.
you're in the house and just you're thinking and you remember the name Niles, then there's going to be consequences.
Yeah.
Won't even tolerate Sideshow Bob.
No, he likes Sideshow Bob. He doesn't like Sideshow Mel. He doesn't like Sideshow Mel.
I see.
Is that right? That's been a while.
Find
since I've
out
watched
next
Simpsons.
week on our Kelsey
Yeah.
Grammer Deep
Yes.
Dive Sister podcast.
Yes.
Called well, that's not grammatical.
Yeah, I did have to squeeze my name in the title there.
Well, that's not grammatical. Yeah.
Grammatical.
Oh.
You emphasized the mat. I thought I'd roll with it.
And then listen to my podcast, Getting Lizzed On.
If you'd like to check out my YouTube channel where I do a roundup of the week's longest outros, you can find me there at Science Learning Time. That's got all of those. And I'm going to share with you now, if you don't mind, my, I would say, goriest quote.
Oh, wow.
The
Ooh,
goriest
wow.
quote I've
A
ever
quote
seen in a
I'm
film.
excited for
itself
this.
is gory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is from Revenge of the Ibis 6, The Deadening. The skeleton that says this bit has
Yeah.
quite a lisp. I'm not going to do it.
That's
I'm
smart.
not going to do the
That's
lisp.
fine.
Right.
That's respectful.
Yeah. Boy, howdy, that there ibis sure is cranky. I better watch out for that fella or it's gonna nibble on my toes.
Gory. Very gory. You did do the
Mm.
accent, I noticed.
Did I?
Yeah, and how a skeleton can have a lisp, which I understand is a very tongue-based thing.
Sort
is
of
that-
mouth flesh.
Yeah, it's a very spooky part of
It's
it.
spooky.
But
They-
then again, you have the same questions. How did those ribs become a xylophone?
Yeah, that's the questions you're faced with when you're dealing with cosmic horror. You've got great questions, but I think the idea is those questions that are lingering with you.
That's right. That's where the fear comes from.
That's the fear.
Goodbye.
Sorry, I just pressed
How
the
does- how
goodbye
does it
button.
end?
Sorry.
Mm. But
I can just trail off. That's fine. That's an ending.
but at
This
the
is
end
a
of
this
the
is
day,
a fade out. You know, like
Yeah.
those songs that only
Yeah.
fade out. This one
So-
fades out. So we'll talk for a bit, but it'll just slowly fade out.
But I think we all agree that it was an honor to be nominated.
It was. It really was.
It was. Did I really do an accent there with the skeleton?
You did, yeah. Yeah,
Did
I
I?
thought it was offensive.
Well, I better cut that out.
Yeah.